It's an honor to have you here. If you want to start a journey of personal transformation together with Sadhguru, click on the link in the description of this video and learn more.
Now it's 73, good, it needs to go further up. So essentially what we have done is, we have postponed the death.
But does that mean an aging population then?
No,
and not a young population?
Don't think like an economist. It's a… do you want to live full life or to make sure everybody is young, you want to die soon?
No, I'm okay with living long. I don't mind if there are more kids, that's not my problem. I live, that's fine.
When I was in Davos, right now Davos is on.
Yeah.
A few years ago when I was regular there, one of our ministers was giving a morning speech, India breakfast. He went on bragging, we are the youngest nation in the world, we are youngest nation in the world. All those, international people, they're all looking, oh, you are the youngest, you are the youngest. If you said once, it was okay. You said twice, it was okay. 6 times, it was okay. You said 15 times. I had enough. I said, but what happened to the old population? What happened to the old people in the country? Said, no, we are the youngest population. I get it, sir, but what happened to the old people? In a country, if people are not getting old, that's not a great thing to brag about. Hello? Everybody lives to their full life, everybody lives to their old age, that's a good country to live in. Oh, you see what's happening in Japan? Go and live in Japan and see, it's definitely better to live there than here.
I was going to say it though.
Huh? Go and live in Japan for 15 days and come back, you will see it's definitely better to live there than in the local village here. You're simply talking out of your head without any sense. There should be old people in the society. That means everybody is living full lives, isn't it? But at the same time, if you postpone death, you have to postpone birth also, which has happened. Normally, a young woman in India, let's say in 60s was… average age was about 16, 17, she was getting her first pregnancy. Today it's moved to 21, I think.
Yeah.
It needs to move further up. Because you postpone death, we have to postpone birth. That's the only way you can manage this. At any time, 3 generations should be alive. Yourself, your parents and their parents are alive, it's fine. But today in many families, 5 generations are alive. That's not good. I know you can't tell that to those people, but generally in the planning of the nation's population, if 5 generations are alive at the same time, you feel like there are too many people. It may not be due to the birth rate, it's simply because it's happened too soon. That's the idea. We are saying till 18, nobody should get… the girls should not get married before 18, because we're trying to postpone the birth date. One thing is for the well-being of the girl.
Yeah.
But it's also important we postpone the birth of the children. She marries at 18, the first child will come 20, 21, reasonably okay, but if it comes at 25, 26, 30, it's better for the present population the way it is. But there are nations which are making laws, they can marry their girls at 9. Just 2 days ago, Iraqi parliament passed the law, at the age of 9, you can marry the girl, consummate the marriage. What is this?
And there's no outrage.
There is no outrage in the world. What happened to all the women's liberation nonsense? Why nobody is talking? The country should condemn this, isn't it? Not only people. Big nations must…
Of course, lead
put
by
it down.
example, yeah.
But nothing is happening. At the age of 9, you can marry a girl. A 9-year-old girl is not a girl, it's a child. But you're marrying her off for whatever reasons.
Do you think in that sense, in the world itself, there's a conversation about some countries, there's condemnation of some countries.
See, that is because, see, when
and
it
not
comes
of
to
others, like India.
press freedom, do you know you are worse than Afghanistan,
Yeah.
Somalia?
Yeah.
How's that for
Which
you?
is ridiculous. But that's my point, that there's a narrative.
No, that's what…
And how do you combat
See,
that? Because you must.
The Western nations always understood the power of narrative. Because of imperialism, they understood narrative is everything. They come to your country and make you feel inferior with their narrative. They're coming and taking everything out of you, but they make you feel inferior by creating a narrative. So they understand the power of the narrative. I think slowly India is picking up on the narrative now, but still it has to really pick up. The narrative that we have consciously drawn is only a few years old and little bit, otherwise we always let other people draw the narrative about us.
Yeah.
They
And
said
let it be.
whatever and that became the reality.
Yeah.
They said whatever and that became the reality.
Do you think the challenge is also that India has become very westernized in its ways?
I don't think so. It's only if you're only living in Delhi, you think so.
No, don't
probably.
we? Do we respect our own cultures, our traditions enough? Or do you think we give in to Western traditions, even on social media? What's Western is cool.
See, that is there. That impact is definitely there. I'm not saying it's not there. But compared to any other country which was ruled by foreign invaders or occupiers or whatever you call, 1000 years we've been occupied nation. In the last 200 years, properly occupied completely by one force. Still, you just see how the Indians are in terms of their dress, food, culture. We made the English like our curry. We didn't go to bread and breakfast in the morning. Delhi families are doing this, bread and breakfast in the morning.
This has become like a Lutyens Khan market reference, Delhi.
I'm saying I've been in families where in the morning all they playing, their forks and knives. I say, I don't need all this butchery stuff, I'm not going to eat a steak. Why do I need all this fork and this thing? What is it? No, Sadhguru, bread and butter. All right, for butter I need one knife, but I'll catch the bread in my hands and eat, I don't need anything else. I'm saying the thing is, a certain class of people have taken to it, but the large population has not. We are very Bharatiya even today, 100%. Just look around and see. Only in the urban population, totally screwed up, their brains are in Greenwich Mean Time. We are still in the local time.
No, I'll give you an example of eating habits of food and how, there's this narrative that Indian food isn't nutritious. It doesn't pack enough protein. You're not getting protein from Indian food. Dal has nothing, you don't eat enough, so you need to eat, more Western cuisines.
No, meat, you have to eat meat.
You have to eat meat, you have to eat Western cuisines, salads, this, that. So, what do you make of that? That, eating habits…
See, now one particular research, it's Harvard research, so it must be true. We also have a lot of Harvard research now because we have a center there. So Harvard research says 30% protein and 70% carb is the best way to eat your breakfast. They're talking about your idli and dosa and pongal, all three are like this, okay? In northern India, I think their diet has gotten ruined because they face more invasions and more upheavals.
Yeah.
South, we were protected.
True.
They didn't come so deep inside, even when they came, they didn't have such a grasp over us. And a whole lot of Turkish and Arabian food became North Indian food. So because of that, it's very easy for them to shift to Western food, not here. You give them what you want, they will like idli chutney. Idli sambar.
True.
Murunkai pottuku saapukada.
Kaaliluru dosa venavluda.
So because we were not disturbed like the North Indian, especially that Gangetic plain from Punjab up to, let's say, Bihar, that area took the maximum beating. Their culture went through an upheaval for 1000 years. So that kind of thing has not happened south, so here it's still there, but even in the north, in the rural areas, they're still very absolutely Indian, all right?
Yeah. Here in the centers…
As I said earlier, the urban narrative has become the most dominant because you guys won't leave Delhi and come, your cameras won't focus…
I'm here.
Now you come. Your cameras won't… See, here sarcasm.
No,
Now served all day, all right?
What perfect placement, Sadhguru!
So,
I was just looking what's written behind me.
so, it is just that the urban populations are controlling the narrative. Anywhere in the world, it's a very skewed narrative. People think United States means, oh, New York City, New York is not United States, it's nothing like United States, New York City, all right?
Yeah.
If you go deep into United States, it's a totally different country. So urban narratives have become so strong because media is focused there,